Hello everybody, my name is Max Roberts here for Go Left Gaming, and I'm here with a vlog, and it's been one of those days. It's been a very busy day, and that's not what this vlog is about, because I vlog about video games. And what I wanted to vlog about tonight was something that really hit home with me. It was pretty personal in the gaming space. And this week, it's February of the 12th today. So 2 days ago on February 10th, Miller and Colin Moriarty had their last podcast Beyond as regular hosts. Of course, they'll come back as guests. They've moved on to Kinda Funny, which is pretty good. Not just kinda good, but it is a good product. And I'm so happy for them and what they're doing, and I'm not upset that they're leaving. Podcast Beyond will be fantastic with Marty and Max and whoever else fills in the show. It's going to be great. I'm not worried about Beyond. I'm not leaving Beyond or the community or anything, but this week was Greg and Colin's final Beyond, and I was listening to it today. The audio went up yesterday, and I finally got around to it today. And they were listening to, I was listening to their last episode, and I got to the last 45 minutes. I mean, I got a little choked up in the beginning. Everything they do that's routine, from the intro to the jokes, everything kind of was packed in there. And it was kind of like a 2-hour montage of all of Beyond. And it really hit home with me. And I wanted to talk about why and stuff. So the reason I do what I do, the reason I found when I created Go Left Gaming, the reason this channel exists, the reason the blog exists, the Twitter, my writing, the reason I found it all because of those two, and because of Podcast Beyond. It all started about senior year of high school, so that would have been 3 years ago for me at this point. 3 years ago, I worked at a Kmart, and I worked in the back. I was a stock. I managed the stock list, and I was organizing towels in a linen closet. Just the linen section, the home goods. I was organizing towels and things, and being in the back, I didn't deal with customers, so I could listen to my phone, and I would listen to podcasts. I used to listen to podcasts at one point, and I kind of decided to get back into it to give me something to do while I worked. And so I found Podcast Beyond. It was PlayStation. It was very popular, highly recommended, and I listened to it. And I was getting in the groove of it, and one day while I'm organizing these towels, they talked about what you need to do what they do, and that was make a blog, make content, make it as regular as possible, hone your craft, do things for free, just go out there and get good at what you want to do. And it was in the back of this Kmart listening to this podcast where it all clicked with me. It clicked in my head and in my heart that I wanted to be a video game journalist, that I wanted to write about video games and share them with the world and people that I love. And it clicked. It was in that moment, standing there in the back at a Kmart, that I realized what I wanted to do, and it's all because of those guys. And obviously, since then, I was hooked. I was a fan of Podcast Beyond and their work. I remember waking up the day The Last of Us review went live. Colin wrote it, and I was ecstatic to read Colin's work. I'm always ecstatic to read either of their works. They really have become inspirations, friends, and people to look up to. And I've always dreamed that one day I would work at IGN, and I'm living that kind of right now with this whole freelance thing. I wouldn't have this without them, even though they didn't extend the opportunity to me directly. They mention things. Jared comes on the show and says, email me about wiki things, and I reach out and do, because they've given me the courage to go out and do it and pursue this dream. And I always dreamed one day that I would be on Podcast Beyond, and that dream is still very much alive. I still very much could be on Podcast Beyond one day as an IGN employee. But I always dreamed one day that I would work with Colin and Greg, and I feel like that dream has passed now at this point, to work with them directly, especially at IGN. That's gone since they're doing this thing. But one day, I always thought that I would sit at Podcast Beyond and I would tell my story just like Goldfarb had, or Vincent Genito, or Jared Petty, people who tell their stories. I always thought I would tell my story around the table in IGN's office, and I realized I don't need to. I have an outlet, and I can share that story with the world. And I wanted to share this specifically with Greg, Miller and Colin Moriarty, and I want them to know that I am one of their best friends that they talk about, that they have impacted tremendously. And if it wasn't for them and the hard work that they poured into Podcast Beyond, I would not do the thing that I'm doing now, which is writing about video games, freelancing guides for IGN, creating this blog, vlogs, blogs, all this stuff. I wouldn't do what I do. And I was listening to it tonight, and I was driving. I had to pull over, and I'm going to try and not break down now, but, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing what I do, which I've said a bajillion times, and I will forever be indebted to them. And it really hit home tonight, and I'm really proud of what they've done, and I'm really, truly thankful for what they have done. And so I hope that these two watch it and know that from the bottom of my heart, I love them and I thank them for everything that they've done. And I'm really proud of their new endeavor with Kinda Funny. So I just needed to share that, get that off my chest, and have everyone know. So I really thank you for sitting through this trip down memory lane. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would be doing right now with my life. So thank you, and instead of my usual sign-off, tonight's will be, very rightly so, a very hearty Beyond. So, Beyond!